Yeah.
Restream, I'm glad you're taking our money every month, but I have two things to say to you.
Fuck
This
off.
is the first thing, and this is the fucking second thing.
What the fuck was that? Okay,
Fuck
so
you, Restream. There you go.
so we didn't go anywhere. My butt never left this chair.
Yeah.
But we dumped. We dumped. We apologize to you were listening that were engrossed in the conversation. Or
And
part of the conversation.
now we have to do more editing for the audio podcast because we got to actually edit both of these shows together. Because technically, this is another show.
Technically,
right?
But there's a whole reason we're on Stitcher because now you've got to stitch the shows together.
I see what you're doing. Yeah, there you go. All right, and you just froze. You're freezing.
You see where I went there? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, what the fuck were we back?
Nope, there you go. I think.
We got the same error that we got last time. Anyway,
we're back. Yeah, we're fine.
Okay, so we probably froze for the audience again, but we were talking about Goodfellas. So that was the movie. Oh, the next one was the Italian. Was the pizza? That was pizza in Jersey, New York.
Yeah, I said the next one. We talked about Goodfellas and Godfather. So I asked you, and by the way, folks, I asked him this already, and about 3 minutes after I was asking him this, realized that we were actually off the air. So we're doing this again for you, okay? So I'll ask this question: New York pizza or New Jersey pizza? Take two. There you go. There you go.
Okay. Well, last time, to reiterate it, at the risk of repeating myself, I've had a lot more Jersey pizza than I've had New York City pizza. I've enjoyed a lot more Jersey pizza than I have New York City pizza. I've had some pizza in Jersey that I particularly like. I've had pizza, to be honest, there's pizza I've had in Jersey that I particularly like. I live in an area, and I get some of the best fucking food here because where I live, it's a very Hispanic neighborhood, and my God, the food's great. But the pizza, not so much. So I do have a rule. If they also serve empanadas, I don't buy the pizza. But I'll buy the fucking empanadas for sure. And the churros. Oh my God, churro day was this weekend. And we got churros, and it's so fucking good. Anyway, but we were it was announced on one particular website, or was a magazine, or was an e-mag, or whatever, that New Jersey was the pizza capital of the country.
It was, yeah. I did see that.
So I'm not going to argue with that, but I'm not going to shit on New York City pizza.
I love.
Well, I'll leave that to the flies. But there's so many good slices between New York City and New Jersey. But I'm going to take New Jersey pizza for a couple of reasons. There's places I've been that I just really, really appreciate, like Lovey's in Morris Plains, one of my favorite places. John, what is your answer to this question?
Hold on 1 second. Just making sure that we're live.
Are we live? There's a little thing up at the top left corner that says live 3/27, 28, 29. And Brian Boak has just commented, so I think we're live.
Okay, good. Is this the live show? Yes,
we
Brian.
Hope so.
We are. Yeah, we're only 3 minutes into this show. There you go.
We're not entirely sure, but
you know what? Restream. Look, you get. I suppose you get what you pay for, right? I guess that's really what it boils.
That's what it is. We may have to look at some other services after this.
Yeah,
but anyway,
because I mean, StreamYard went like insane money. We had to get out of there. We went with Restream, and Restream sucks. Restream sucks, not quite as well as my vacuum cleaner.
And we don't mind a lot of the.
Ryan said, "Welcome back. Thank you very much. Appreciate
we don't
it.
mind.
Glad to be back.
They've got a pretty decent suite of things going on. We don't mind that so much. It's just the consistency. It's the stability of the platform.
It's very unstable.
Yes.
I mean, quite like us, right? I mean,
it fits. Okay, so you had one more question on the hot take.
I do have one more. Italian food or Chinese food? Italian food. All right.
Every day.
I agree with you 100%. As much as I love Chinese food, if I had to choose between Italian food or Chinese food, it's Italian food. However,
not for nothing. Chinese food is really, really down on my list because it's Italian, Mexican, Thai, Indian, they all come before Chinese food.
Chinese food.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my point being, however, Italian food beats out Chinese for me. You know what? I mean, I probably eat more Mexican food than I do Chinese food. Not all the time, but not for I say all the time. I mean, forever. Like 20 years ago, I wasn't eating more Mexican food than Chinese food, but now I am.
And I got to agree with Brian here. Sushi comes before Chinese.
Sushi comes before Chinese.
Polish food comes before Chinese.
Mm-hmm. Brian said Italian, hate Chinese food, and he says love sushi. And by the way, he said his second beer is Ramstein Maibach.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, you didn't do a very fair comparison there. Italian
well, I said it for a reason, right? I had Italian because we talked about Goodfellas, Godfather, pizza. So I said Italian.
You can only eat one meal for the rest of your life every day.
One meal for the rest of my life every day.
Mm-hmm.
One meal for the rest of my life every day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to get fat. Thanks for adding on the two letters that I was trying to avoid.
Right? I'm guilty of the same fucking thing, my friend.
There you go. It would one meal. I mean, it's an Italian meal.
Yeah,
hands down. Okay. Do I have to specifically? If I have to,
yes.
No, I'm saying if I had to specifically say it, like I don't want to be Scott Wells and say chicken parm.
I will.
I
will do it.
If it had to be a dinner, it would probably be veal scallopini over chicken parm for me.
Really?
But just incrementally.
For me, it's chicken parm. My close second is cheeseburger.
There you go. Well, but I will tell you this. Italian wise, it would probably be my sandwich, right? It would probably be my sandwich. And my sandwich is semolina, Italian semolina roll. All right. With
long roll or round
long roll. With mortadella with the pistachios.
Yes, okay? It's not mortadella otherwise.
Right. It's just bologna with fat in it if it's not.
That's all it is.
Yes.
Pistachios actually cut into that fat.
Hot sopressata.
The hot, not the sweet.
The hot, not the sweet.
Okay.
Hot imported Capicola.
Thank you for pronouncing it properly and not like a new tri-state area.
I would never say gabagool. Don't worry
you just did.
I just I see where you went. Capicola. Smoked mozzarella.
Okay. Mozzarella.
I didn't say the I said mozzarella. I didn't say mozzarella.
I said mozzarella.
I said mozzarella.
But it's mozzarella.
I didn't say the mozzarella. And sautéed roasted peppers with garlic.
Okay.
That's my sandwich.
That's a sandwich.
That's my sandwich.
Also in Italian known as a panini.
Oh, it's not panini.
Well, panino. No. Panino.
Panino
in Italian. Panini is just the Italian of panino. Panino in Italian means sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
A pressed sandwich in America has become known as panini.
But if I had
just like we call what are the things that those really like kind of stale cookies you dip into your coffee?
Biscotti?
Yeah, no, cantucci. The cantucci. Biscotti means cookie.
Cookie, right.
So
Biscotti means cookie. I'm aware of that.
We call
everything.
Actually, it means cookies. It's plural.
Right.
It's biscotto. So we call everything wrong here.
Right. Which we got. Brian Boak said everything comes before Chinese.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Mega Wing Pub is back online. Well, thank you, Mega Wing, for finding us again. Indian Buffet is his.
He's not wrong there at all. She's not wrong there at all. Yeah, Indian Buffet. And it's funny because one of the most popular dishes, Indian dishes in the U.S. is butter chicken. I don't particularly like butter chicken. If it's, I'll take tikka masala over bit chicken.
Tikka masala. I like butter chicken. I like tandoori chicken a little bit more than butter chicken.
Tandoori chicken tends to be a little too
Um,
dry for me, so you need a lot of yogurt dip for it.
that's fine.
Vindaloo, and sag.
Vindaloo's great,
I
but
love
just you know
sag.
what? Whatever you're giving me to eat, just give me plates and plates and plates of garlic naan, and I'm good to go. All right.
Absolutely. But actually, sag paneer is one of my favorite things. Do you know sag paneer?
Yeah.
Paneer is that squeaky ass cheese that they make,
Mhm.
and they put it in this spinach sauce that is freakishly green sometimes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Another thing I love is
Well, it's because it's spinach sauce. That's why it's green. Like,
Medi Malamuller is another one of my favorites. One of my friends, Mohul, introduced me to it, and what it is, it's fresh, what they call fenugreek. That's the Medi, and peas and cream. Medi Mali Muller in Indian and Hindi. Those are the three words. And I actually learned to make it.
nice.
Not nearly as well as the restaurant that I had it the first time, but I'm working on it.
You're working on it. Brian Boak just said his favorite would be linguine and white clam sauce.
Nice.
There you go. And he also said prosciutto di Parma.
No. Let's read it the way he prosciutto di Parma, sweet sopressade, sweet capicola, fresh mozzarella, sun-dried tomatoes, balsamic vinegar. Yes, again.
Yes, I cannot spell. There you go. So I'm going to say it the way it is, right? Prosciutto di Parma, sweet sopressata, sweet capicola, fresh mozzarella, sun-dried tomatoes, balsamic vinegar.
That sounds
a fantastic
delicious.
sandwich too. That's a fantastic sandwich.
When it comes to prosciutto, though, prosciutto to me is
So it's basically my sandwich with a few like I changed the prosciutto di Parma into mortadella. Yeah. His sweet sopressata is my hot. His sweet capicola is my hot.
Yeah.
His fresh mozzarella is my smoked mozzarella, and his sun-dried tomatoes with balsamic vinegar is my roasted red.
So it's the same thing, only entirely different.
It's the same thing, but completely different. It's got the same amount of ingredients. There you go.
There you go. So prosciutto, for me, it's got such delicate flavor to it that I like to keep it as pure as possible. I like getting like that nice hard semolina roll. The prosciutto, and the Parma's very, very nice, but San Daniele, I prefer prosciutto to San Daniele.
Yeah.
Do that with the fresh mozz with a little bit of olive oil, and that's about it for me.
Right.
Anything else I think detracts from the prosciutto. The prosciutto is the star of the show. So
there you go. And he said A&A Deli.
Oh my God, he's absolutely right. That is one of the greatest, most underrated Italian places in the whole fucking state. I lived in Lincoln Park, and I lived at that place.
All right, one more food thing before we get to our top three list, which is food related. All right, and I just got to throw this out there.
And the thing before you go there, A&A. If you go into A&A, you go to the counter. They've got these blocks of mozzarella. Mm-hmm. And when you pick it up, they're still warm.
Yep.
And they've got the sopressats hanging.
The sopressata and the capicola and the prosciutto's hanging. Yeah.
And you can get almost any Italian cheese you can think of there. Definitely a shout out to A&A. It's one of my favorite places in the state.
There you go.
Still John's line 100%.
I didn't have this on there, but I'm gonna throw it in there. Okay, so I know the answer, but I'm throwing it on there for a reason. All right, Hot Grill or Ruth's Hut?
That's a yes. These are two different things.
They are two different things, but
the only thing that
can I make it easier for you? High Rose or Ruth's Hut? There you go.
That's Ruth's Hut every day. But the thing about it is, Hot Grill and Ruth's Hut are in the same town.
Yep.
And nowhere near each other.
Exactly.
They both fry hot dogs in oil. And if you only went to Hot Grill and not going to Ruth's Hut, you're like, oh, Hot Grill's got some pretty thick hot dogs. Yeah, go to Ruth's Hut. They're thicker. Ruth's Hut is known for the Texas sweeter style of hot dog. And their sauce is legendary. Rutt's Hut is not known so much for their chili, but it's still pretty fucking good.
Chili's very good, yeah.
But they're more known.
And you can get it with or without beans. You can get it meat only or whatever.
But they are known more for that mustard relish.
Yeah.
These are two different things. You can't. I'm
gonna help Dave pick one.
No. I refuse. I refuse to pick between the two of them. Not doing it.
Not doing it.
Not doing it.
So the next time you go to Ghost Talk, have some hot grill with your beer.
Maybe I'll stop in first and do that.
There you go.
That's not fair either because Rutt's Hut's right across the freaking street.
There you go.
And I want to know what things does Brian Boak have in his fridge right now? Is he talking about the block of mozzarella? I think he's talking about the block of mozzarella.
Yeah, he's got hot dogs. One of those. I don't know. I'm sure he's
no. This came out long before the
in the fridge right now. Yeah, please let us know what that is. All right.
By the way, I'm off beer I've been off beer. I'm drinking port now.
There you go.
This is the.
I have a little left, and I'm opening another one because I'm starving, and I'm going to eat dinner in about 5 minutes after we do our top three list.
This is Taylor Fladgate's 325th anniversary.
You just bought that today, and you opened it. There you go.
How you think I was going to wait another fucking day to open this? And I'm drinking it. Oh, these are new glasses for me. Look at these.
Very nice. You're having that tomorrow on the show?
The glass? No. I've got a different glass for the show tomorrow. And no, I'm not going to have the port.
He's got a Supersada on the in the fridge.
That's right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hold on one second. I'm gonna.
And the other thing is, A&A usually has a nice block of Cascavel on the counter. And they're one of those places that when you get the cannolis there, they pipe them right in front of you.
They do. Well, I mean, only the best places do, really. You know,
the places that know what they're doing. If you see a cannoli in the case line and it's already piped, walk out. Just walk out. Say no. Mm-hmm. You people have no idea what you're doing. Get the hell out of there because they've made the cannoli shell completely soggy, useless. No, there's no room for that in your life.
There you go. That's the way to spell sopressata. There you go.
There you go. That's how you spell sopressata.
Soppressata. Sopressata.
And the thing in Italian, if there's a double letter, it's pronounced that letter. That means that letter is pronounced in the first syllable and the following syllable.
There you go.
So it's
a hell of a meat market. It 100% is. There's a couple of New Jersey clubs that are too, but that's another story for another day.
That's a whole different thing. So with sopressata, it's sopressata. Sata. Right, yeah. That's because there's only one T.
Right.
Anyway,
all right.
That's why bruschetta. That's how you say it. It's bruschetta.
Mm-hmm.
Not bruschetta.
It's not bruschetta. It's bruschetta.
Bruschetta. Anyway.
Exactly. Anyway, all right.
So come back next week for your Italian lessons.
There you go.
Actually, next week we may switch over to German lessons.
I think we'll have some German lessons next week. Maybe even Belgian more as we get into August. More on that then.
We'll talk about that later.
But tonight's top three list is food related.
It is.
And even though we basically just shit all over the cuisine because we all like Italian.
It is a standard cuisine in not just this country, any fucking country on the planet. This is a standard cuisine.
And I do love it. I probably love it more than Dave and Brian, obviously.
Definitely more than Brian.
All right.
And I'm part Chinese.
There you go. And that would be top three favorite Chinese dishes. And we did this tonight because today is National Egg Roll Day.
It is National Egg Roll Day.
So top three favorite Chinese dishes. So Dave, please kick us off with your top three, please.
Well, I've got some go-tos. I've got some things. I didn't want to go with like those standards. Like General Tso's is definitely a go-to, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just an easy thing. Just give me some General Tso's. Some places make it too sweet. Whatever. It's all a little different. Another go-to for me is, and again, this is just an honorable mention, is pork lo mein.
There you go.
And it has nothing to do with Warren Zevon. I just like pork lo mein. But my three. Number three, Mushu pork.
There you go.
Give me some extra. I need extra pancakes, but it's the plum sauce that
Oh yeah.
makes mushu pork. Love it because it's pork, cabbage, 18
At
different types of
least.
mushrooms. um, just absolutely love it. And when you put it in your pancake and roll it up, like you got to eat it quick because it's so damn juicy. It's going to just tear through that pancake. But mushu
There you
pork
go.
with extra pancakes. Number two for me, and this is what I actually had for dinner, was Singapore chow mein fun. Mei fun. So chow means what chow means a mean noodle. Anyway, mei fun is like these thin rice noodles. And when they say Singapore, what they're talking about is they're putting like there's chicken in there, there's pork in there, there's shrimp in there, but the flavorings a yellow curry. And I love Singapore made fun. But my number one, and it's really a hard thing to find sometimes, it's a Szechuan dish called Dan Dan noodles.
What is it?
Dan Dan noodles. Like Lieutenant
Gotcha.
Dan. But this thing's got some fucking legs to it, I'll tell you that. It is. If you're not used to spice and heat, don't take my advice. Don't listen to me and go and order Dan Dan noodles. If you seem like, oh, this is what the beer samurai was talking about, I should order these. No, they'll blow your fucking head off.
Right.
It's Szechuan. And the first place I ever had them was Marie Claire's.
The magazine?
No, that's from the magazine. Marie something in Cambridge, Massachusetts. This is the same place that after hours we go into, and you ordered golden tea. They bring you out
I know if I want that. I'm sure.
No, but it was actually beer. Golden tea was beer. But I had Dan Dan noodles from there, and these things will mess you up if you're not used to not used to heat. I actually got authentic Dan Dan noodles from a Szechuan restaurant not too far from the bridge that Simon and Garfunkel sang about.
Was the troubled water troubled that day?
No, not that bridge.
Well, I mean, Simon and Garfunkel in a bridge. I mean, where else am I going, right?
Feeling Groovy, the 58th Street Break song. The one that mentioned by name. 58th or 59th? 58th, right?
59th.
58th. 59th, yeah, 59th. And it's about 3 blocks from 59th, so it might have been the 56th. But I got authentic Dan Dan noodles from there and immediately regretted it. Oh, God. They kicked the shit out of me. So Dan Dan noodles is actually my number one.
Mine, and I'm getting hungry, so here you go.
And this whole conversation is
hungry. I'll give you 2 honorable mentions. You know what? I'd be remiss if I didn't say egg drop soup. I love me some egg drop soup, especially.
To me, it always looks like a
matter. I love egg drop soup, and I love it with I take the Chinese mustard. That you always get the Chinese mustard. You know what? Well, I mean, they're in the Chinese mustard for the most part is in China, like in China, obviously. It's like, but any Chinese restaurant in the States that you get Chinese mustard, you know what it is, right?
You just turned into the president there for a second. The Chinese mustard, you can get that in China.
The Chinese mustard in China is not this, is my point. But in the States, the majority of the places, I won't say all, but the majority of the places you get Chinese mustard, it's Coleman's. Which is British. It's Coleman's mustard, right? But that hot mustard.
And it's a powder.
It's a powder, exactly. To make the mustard. But that what you call it, that hot mustard, you take the egg, you put a bunch of the hot mustard, you stir a little bit of that hot mustard into it, and then you put some of the crispy noodles that comes with your soup, right into it, and eat it. That's perfect. I want that all the time. That's some of my mentions.
So if you like that, so there's this whole line of Mike's Amazing. The Mike's Amazing mayonnaise is anything but amazing. It's just god awful. However, Mike's Amazing mustard. Imagine Chinese mustard mixed with brown mustard. You gotta try this one.
At any rate, my other honorable mention is something that you don't find that often, but when you do, they're really, really good, and that's pork buns. Yeah.
Bao.
Hambao.
Hambao. Yeah, actually, I grew up on hambao. My grandmother was half Chinese. She introduced my brother and I to hambao. If you're on a low carb diet, avoid them.
This is very true.
Is there nothing but carb with a little bit of pork in the middle?
Pork in there.
It's like this little surprise hidden in the middle of all this friggin' steamed dough.
Fantastic though. So
But I do love that.
All right, so my top three. My number three, and like you said, Dave. I mean, there's all the go-tos that you get from all your takeout places, but my top three are going to be three that I had, and it's not the only Chinese restaurant that I've been to, throughout the years, that wasn't just your typical Chinese takeout place, right? But it's the one I spent the most time at, and that's.
I'm going to drink half this bottle tonight.
That's the Jade Fountain, and the Jade Fountain used to have several locations in North Jersey. They're gone, but used to have several locations in North Jersey, and the food was fantastic. And my number three is going to be beef and oyster sauce. Okay, the oyster sauce is like, it's the brown sauce. It's the Chinese brown sauce on acid, right? It's
it's like picture soy sauce really thickened, but it's
exactly.
Flavor.
So the oyster very slight, but it
glops.
But the beef and oyster sauce is fantastic. My number two is a dish that I got majority of the time I was at. I went to
a dish that you got when you were in China.
It's a Jade.
Did she love you a long time,
man? Hoyu Gai Pu.
Excuse me? What'd you call me?
Gai Pu. Hoyu Gai Pu. It's
pork. There's so many jokes in there.
And chicken and Chinese vegetables in a brown sauce. It's fantastic.
Okay.
It was my go-to.
Okay.
Mixed pork, chicken, mixed Chinese vegetables in a brown sauce. Fantastic.
Yeah, peanuts to its mugu gai pan.
And my number one is orange peel beef.
Orange peel beef is just one side of. So there's so many dishes that are so similar to General Tso's.
Yeah, but the authentic orange peel beef. I'm not putting a lot of glop and a lot of sugar and a lot of sauce. And no, I want the thin breaded. I want that orange flavor, but I want that thin sauce that is peppery and it's got those big Szechuan peppers in with it. That's what I want.
Yeah, and
that's what I want. That's my orange peel beef that I want.
Yes, that's the way
because there's orange peel beef and there's orange beef. You go to a takeout place, you order orange beef. It's
General Tso's with orange peel in it.
Right,
it's all it is. Just like sesame chicken is just General Tso's chicken with sesames.
Right. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
But orange peel beef done that way, that's the way I need to have it. That's fantastic.
Okay, so Mega Winks has got a couple.
Which we call.
I can't want to say Mega Winks because I work with a guy named whose last name was Winkleman. We called him.
There you go.
B Winks.
Well, Brian, I'll just go back. Brian Bogue actually said barbecue, Chinese barbecue.
So the boneless spare ribs, Chinese boneless spare ribs, fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah. And even what I grew up eating there. When I was a kid and even a teenager, for that matter, there were no boneless spare ribs. We were eating spare ribs on the bone at Chinese restaurants, right?
Yeah,
right.
Which is the way it should
be. But they were fantastic. It's the same meat. It's just not on the bone, right? You just got to do your work, right?
Yeah.
You can't just pop it in your mouth.
And the ones on the bone tend to be more tender. The ones that
true story.
Tend to be
true
chewy.
Story. Did I say chew story? True.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry. But then he said. Then he said egg roll, and
now my whole thing with egg rolls, I always eat them with.
Oh yes, I eat mine. I'll get a big egg roll. I'll eat it with all three. I will dip in the first thing. I will take my egg roll. It's not bitten yet. I will dip it in my hot mustard, and I'll take a bite. All right. Then I will pour soy sauce in it, and of course it drips down through the entire egg roll, and I take a bite there. Then I take the next bite, I dip it in my duck sauce, and I take a bite there. And then I finish with the hot mustard again with the soy sauce.
So you turn your egg roll into a parfait.
There you go.
Basically, what I do with an egg roll is I bite the top off, then squirt
Egg roll. You squirt egg roll in.
squirt egg roll in. Squirt egg roll into
Yeah.
my duck sauce. Squirt some duck sauce into the egg roll, and then bite. Duck sauce bite. Duck sauce bite. Which is what I was doing at the top
This
of
is
the
what
show.
you did.
As a matter of fact, if anybody was
was.
paying attention, but
There you go. Mega Wing Pub said,
So.
Johnny, what's for dinner? Mexican. Actually having Mexican tonight. So there are tacos downstairs waiting for me. So
anything.
It
is Tuesday.
So there you go. And then Mega Wing Pub also said yes on the orange peel beef, 100%. Number one. That's where I go. That's it.
Actually,
and Brian just said egg roll with hot mustard all over the outside. Yes, that's why I do it. That's why I do it first.
Oof. That's a good way to clear out the sinuses.
I can take spoons of that, call them as mustard, and just eat it. I love it. I love it.
See, now one thing I was hesitant to put on the list was Szechuan beef. There's a bunch of different ways to do Szechuan beef, and usually I don't like when things are done too sweet, but I like my Szechuan beef on the sweet side. There's times when they do Szechuan beef where it's just basically beef, brown sauce, spice, and onions, and maybe some peppers. I like the beef. I like the peppers. Yeah, maybe some onions in there, and I want a richer sauce to it. But I want, and the richer sauce is brought up by a little brown sugar or whatever. And that's the way I like Szechuan beef. Actually, PF Chang's actually does it.
There you go.
I don't like PF Chang's, but they actually do the Szechuan beef the way I like it.
There's a couple of places that are, the Jade Fountain, like I said, was in North Jersey. There was several locations they had. They're all gone now. You spent so much time there. But there are a couple of restaurants, Chinese restaurants that I've heard of that I haven't been yet, and I do want to try this. One in Roselle Park. The names escape me for both of them, but there's one in Roselle Park. It's like exit 138 off the Parkway. 137 maybe, and then which we call it over in Staten Island, right off of 440. There's a strip mall in Southwest Staten Island.
So you're going to say strip club? That's more Staten Island than
strip mall. Yeah, there's one in there as well. Supposedly has some fantastic. Has some. Fantastic, and it's a restaurant. It's not a takeout place by any. I obviously can take out of it, but it's a sit-down restaurant. It's like the Jade Fountain was. That's my point. But anyway,
well, there's a couple that I want to bring up. Dishes that my grandparents used to go to this place in Freehold, and they went there for the Chambord shrimp. I haven't had that in forever. That was fantastic. But another thing that I really like from Chinese restaurants that I get every now and then, it's usually on the appetizer, but I'll get it as my main dish, is cold sesame noodles.
Cold sesame noodles are fantastic.
I love those things. I've actually made them. They're not that
cold sesame noodles are fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll bring up on that note. I'll bring up two really quick. Years ago, it's not there. It hasn't been there forever. But
wait a second.
Yeah, there he is.
He's saying beef broccoli.
Yeah. Lucky. He's saying beef broccoli. Yeah. Up in Cliffside Park, closer to where Dave is right now. Up in Cliffside Park, I forget the name of the restaurant. It was right on the main drag there, going down to where the apartments were built, going down the cliffs where Palisades Park Amusement Park was. But so I'm dating myself. Yes, I am. But
I guess that you've basically thrown yourself on the landmine for all of the women out there that you're actually dating yourself.
Exactly. So with that being the case, there was this one Chinese restaurant we always went to, homemade dumplings. So they weren't like starchy, doughy dumplings. They were the thin, the thin shells of
the way I make them,
right? Anyway, they were in a peanut butter, not just a peanut sauce, a peanut butter sauce. So it was a peanut sauce with peanut. It was
so it's Americanized,
but in a good way. Fantastic. But the other thing I will say my one go-to from a Chinese takeout place, if none of these are available, if the beef and oyster sauce or Hoyu Gai Pu or orange beef, because those three are not readily available in every Chinese takeout place, right?
No,
my
of course not.
My go-to would be Kung Pao chicken.
Okay, I don't mind that at all.
Brian's like, I thought you were married. Why do you need to date yourself? There you go. So,
Okay, so there's so many things
no, let
wrong
it
with
go.
that
Yeah,
statement, Brian.
anyway,
But we'll let that go.
all right.
But no, what I want to mention though is there is one appetizer from a Chinese restaurant that almost every place I've ever been, I find absolutely vile and disgusting, and that's shrimp toast. Shrimp toast is just this friggin'.
Do you like shrimp?
It's so. I love shrimp and I love toast. Put them together.
Well,
for the
because
most
it's
part,
greasy.
and
That's why you don't like it, because it's greasy most of the place.
Exactly.
Right?
It's just all grease.
Jade Fountain made
However,
my favorite shrimp toast because it wasn't greasy. It was crunchy. Well, the bread wasn't like sopped in the deep fryer oil. It was well done. That was fed. Jade Fountain. This is why I keep harping on Jade Fountain, and it's got anybody out there knows the Jade Fountain, know what I'm talking about. Right.
And that's a rare thing to do.
Toast.
And the only time I've ever had shrimp toast that way. Shrimp toast is a beautiful thing when it's done right. And the only time I've ever had it done right was in Ballard, Washington, outside of Seattle, at a place called Local Tide, which is attached to Aslan Brewing. And I pronounce it that way, not to really stress the word
Aslan Brewing. I gotta go there.
Sorry, Aslan Brewing.
They have some shitty beer
there. Very cute. Rather than Aslan beer, which is all over this coast. Aslan, like the line from Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. But next to them is Local Tide. If you ever get to Ballard and you want to go and get Local Tide food, here's the hack. Go into Aslan beer. Order the seafood there from Local Tide rather than stand on the line to get the Local Tide. And you'll jump probably about 15 people in line by doing that. You'll limit yourself on the menu a little bit because they don't serve everything in the brewery, but they serve that shrimp toast, and that's enough for me.
All right. Well, awesome show tonight. Awesome shows tonight.
Yeah, we did it.
First time we've ever done two shows in one night. Thank you, Restream, for making us do two shows in one night. Yeah,
it's a first.
Those of you just listening to this on the audio podcast, you're not going to know what we're talking about because we edited these shows together. Those of you rewatching this on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, then you know what we're talking about. But in any event, we got to check into this because this can't happen again. We do apologize to anybody that got bumped out and had to go find us again and watch it again, especially those. And we'll post anything for anybody that's going to rewatch. We'll post a comment that says, please make sure you watch the second half of the show separately. So in any event, on that note, though,
or concurrently.
There you go.
I think that's the better.
Well, concurrently, you can't watch it at the same time, so it's not concurrently. It's just immediately after it. They have to watch the whole first consecutively.
There's the adverb. We found the adverb.
But on that note, we will wrap up the show for today. I want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.loggerroom.com. That's LEGEROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Pandora, Amazon Music, iTunes Music, YouTube Music, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, CastBox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you will find an audio podcast, you'll find the Logger Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And I got a 9-1. I beat a 9. There we go.
You kicked the crap out of that one. There's a few things you got a little pedantic at that point. The 9-1 might be me beer goggling.
Yeah. I think I was closer to 9-6. That's me, but I'll take the 9-1. I'll take the 9-1.
Well, that's only because you're dating yourself.
Hey, yeah.
you're
Mega Wing Pub said, "Cheers, you guys." Cheers, Mega Wing Pub. Hey,
Mega Wing.
seriously, Mega Wing Pub.
Cheers.
Check out the article I'll put up later in the week, and check out and anybody else wants to do that too. And make sure you're watching next week. We got another local Jersey brewery on the show next week. We do.
We do.
And there you go. And we'd love to hear from you again next week, folks. At Mega Wing Pub specifically, but everybody definitely.
No, you have to. After we're done, you've got to clue me.
I'll let you. You already know. Stop it.
I know.
And he says, Johnny need taco. Soak up the booze. There you go. 100%. I do.
Yeah, you do.
And on that note, like I said, drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers. Drink less of port, but drink responsibly.